Hey guys, Ben here. It's 6 a.m. in the morning. It's actually quite warm, and I'm outside one of Portsmouth's outdoor gyms. I'm just going to go through what's on offer in my city as an outdoor gym and see how it compares to London, if it's any better, worse, and seeing what sort of similarities they've got and what could be done to improve what's on offer. So this is Kingston Rec, and this is the gym on offer here. Is wooden equipment. So this was installed in 2021. So they had a good idea of what could be put in, what is on offer elsewhere, and really put together a great outdoor workspace, somewhere to be kind of proud to have any form of exercise. So they came up with this, and this, and that's it. In fact, there were steps over here, and either they were taken out or stolen. I'll let you decide on that. And here, how to use the equipment, graffitied, obviously. So the company behind this is Parkletics. If you look at their social media pages, don't feel your confidence. They barely use their pages. So if this is what they produce, no wonder. It's disappointing. But we'll have a workout here. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to go somewhere else and see what else I can find. So that'll be a case of me running to the next place. Not ideal. If you want to work out in one particular area, you're so limited. And after being in London a few weeks back to this, I don't know, it's disappointing. So let's have a little workout. Let's do a few pull-ups, some dips, some push-ups, and that's basically it at the moment. So let's do it. Okay, my pull-ups are actually awful. I need to work on my pull-ups. But the good thing about this bar compared to London is it's higher, so I can actually kind of stretch it more. But I need to work on them. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to do a few dips, some inverted rows on the dip bars, and also some push-ups. And that's probably going to be it here. And then we'll go elsewhere. As you can see, the area itself is actually quite nice. Got a nice sunrise coming up. Beautiful park space. Loads of like climbing apparatus, swings, zip line, all that sort of stuff. They've invested a lot of money here, and it's great. A couple of football goals. Obviously, got the basketball court, a couple of table tennis tables, but it's the outdoor gym that I'm here for, and quite frankly, it's poor. There's a lot of space here. They've put a lot of work into other areas. They could do a bit more to that. You know, they want to get people to be more active, and the way to do that is to get them outside the house more and to offer spaces like this with amenities, with equipment to actually work out and do things. So I think a bit more investment would be needed, particularly here. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to run to Southsea. It's about a 15-minute run from here to there, and we'll see what's on offer there, and then review that. So a few facts about Portsmouth, just so you kind of know more about the city. It is the second most densely populated city in the UK, only after London. And if you see the size of it compared to London, you're basically comparing apples to bananas. Winston Churchill has freedom of the city. Not that he needs it much these days. King Charles also has freedom of the city. And most recently, Alan Knight, who is Portsmouth's second longest serving player in their history, but also holds the record for the most appearances by a goalkeeper for a single team. Unfortunately, there's no females on the list at the moment for the freedom of the city. Maybe someone like Amanda Holden can have it, as she was born here. Also born in Portsmouth, author Charles Dickens. You'll probably know his works. Charles Dickens wrote A Christmas Carol, Oliver Twist, Tale of Two Cities, amongst many other tales. Peter Sellers was also born in the city. He was a comedian and actor, most probably famous for being in the Pink Panther. Isambard Kingdom Brunel was also born in Portsmouth. He was huge during the Industrial Revolution. He built railways, bridges, tunnels. He was a genius, basically, in the world of engineering. And as previously mentioned, Amanda Holden was also born in Portsmouth. Apparently she releases music as well these days, but you'll find her on the radio, sometimes on TV, and she wrote an autobiography a few years back. There are plenty of other famous people in the city. If you know any, drop them in the comments below. Okay, disaster. Can't work out in the outdoor park over here because there is a group doing exercising out here, which is great. Love to see it, but I can't do what I need to do right now. So what I'm going to do instead is I'm going to my gym. I'm going to have an indoor workout and then come back here afterwards and see if I can access this. Otherwise, we have to film another day. Okay, so before I actually go and hit the gym, let's talk a little bit more about Portsmouth and Southsea. So this is now Southsea. If anyone says that Southsea is not a part of Portsmouth or it's its own town, they're wrong. It's all Portsmouth. That's a fact. Okay, so if you head all the way down the beach this way, so if you're looking out south, you go all the way down east, you'll hit the nudist beach. If you go west, past the pier, and all the way as far as you could possibly go along here, you'll hit Old Portsmouth, and that is where you'll find some amazing pubs. You'll find old buildings, the old tram lines, cobbled streets, little boutique cafes and independent shops, and the fish market is down there as well, so the harbour, and Sir Ben Ainsley's old sailing club, which was put in and ruined the area, as many can confirm. So I'm on the beach obviously now. It's quite nice here. Along the seafront here is obviously where I do park run. I haven't done that for a couple of weeks. basically because of work. But hopefully be hitting that back up again very soon. And that obviously runs not the full distance and not right down to the end. Goes to where just past the old Royal Marines barracks, where instantly me and my wife got married. This pier here burnt down 3 times in its history. This is South Parade Pier, one of 55 in the UK that are privately owned. So it burnt down 3 times. Most recently in the 1970s, when British film Tommy was being filmed, and over 400 people had to escape the fires. Obviously they rebuilt it. About 2017 it was quite derelict, and since then they've put a lot of work into the pier and they've made it really nice, and it's actually a nice place to go, to be honest, on a nice sunny day, and obviously brings tourism to the area. The building in front of it, so that one there, can't really see it from here, used to be Savoy Court. That was a derelict building. In 2005 it burned down, most famously owned or part owned by Harry Redknapp. I'm not saying it was an insurance scam, but it definitely was. Now it's expensive apartments, and underneath it is a co-op. So the oldest commissioned ship in the world is based here in Portsmouth, HMS Victory. The US will argue that the USS Constitution is technically the older ship because it's still afloat and still used, and as a training ship and also a museum as well. However, HMS Victory is in commission, still part of the Navy, and yeah, it has scaffolding over it most of the time. We're proud of our ship. It's old, really old, and you can go on it. HMS Warrior is also based at the docks, the dockyards. You can see that as you come into Portsmouth from either our Secret France and that, or from the Isle of Wight. And when you get off at the train station, when you walk out the train station, you can see it almost opposite you. So it's always nice to see one of our older ships just kind of sitting there. The docks here host many of our Navy, so HMS Queen Elizabeth and HMS Prince of Wales both stay here and sail from here regularly. They are 2 of the biggest aircraft carriers in the world, and a lot of our destroyers sail from here as well. Portsmouth no longer build ships. That contract was taken away in about 2013, so it's now a home for the Navy and a museum. And if you're ever in Portsmouth, it's definitely worth going to visit the museum to see HMS Victory, to see HMS Warrior, and to see the remains of the Mary Rose, which obviously sunk out in the Solent in the 1500s. It was Henry VIII's flagship, and he watched that ship sink. It literally did nothing apart from sink, and most of the crew died. So I don't know the full history on the Queen Mary. I have seen the wreck in the museum. It's a nice museum, but trying to remember all the information is one thing. So highly recommend, if you come to Portsmouth, go check out the museum and the dockyards. Okay, we are here at Southsea Outdoor Gym, or what you wish to call it, down by Canoe Lake, and we have this equipment. So this doesn't even work similar to the ones in London where you're lifting and moving your body weight at the same time. This is much different and obviously limited as well. So we've got this that works abs, one for the wheelchair users, and this here for chest. Do sit-ups, and we got pull-ups, and we also have this one. So this is my gym partner right now. So as I've already worked out inside, I'm only going to do a quick run through this equipment. So let's see what happens. What do you think, mate? Any good? Yeah. Someone's not interested. Okay, so I am not a fan of this. Not at all. It gets 1 star from me. Worst gym I've ever worked out in, to be honest. So the chest press, this equipment here, absolutely awful. No resistance whatsoever. You're not even using your own body weight. Like in London gyms, when you're pushing, you're lifting yourself up as well, so at least you've got some sort of resistance. The sit-up is the best thing here. I quite like that. Could definitely work on the abs here if I wanted to. Pull-up bar is way too low, so not a fan of it. The bar's quite thick as well. These little twisty things are just a gimmick. They don't really do much. Not for me anyway. They might work for some people, but they just don't do anything for me. There's no resistance, so I don't know what you're doing, to be honest. The leg raise or the dip, again, no good. It's too harsh. So when you put your forearms on this, it hurts so much. And if you're doing dips, so your hands are going the opposite direction, your forearms are pressing against the bar that goes upwards, the vertical bar. It's just not practical. It just doesn't do anything. Maybe I'm too tall for it. I don't know. But it hurts. So when you compare this to London, it's awful. Location-wise, love the location. That works well. But you just can't compare it to anywhere else as far as outdoor gyms go. London's got it. And it's sad because considering how dense the population is of Portsmouth, you would expect something more than this. I think there's only one more place that has anything, maybe two, and all it is pull-up bars, and that's it. There's no actual equipment like in London. And I think Portsmouth need to sort this out. Not everyone can afford a gym. Granted, there's loads of gyms in Portsmouth. Independent gyms, CrossFit gyms, commercial gyms, all different prices. But some people are struggling right now financially, can't afford to go to the gym, want to work out. And there are some free events. You've got the park run on Saturdays, which is great. But these sort of outside spaces, they need to be better. They need to have more and get people out to work out. Unfortunately, if my option was doing nothing and going here, it's going to be nothing, because that's doing nothing anyway. And in fact, I'm probably going to end up hurting myself more doing that than doing nothing. So that's it for this video. First gym workout area this morning, definitely better. Pull-up bar was far superior. It's a lot higher, so good for me. Plus there's different levels, so you can do, if you're shorter, you've got a lower level. And to be fair, the dips were not too bad. There's variations of things you could do on that, on the dip bars. And obviously you got the bench for push-ups. Put the ab workout over there and you're good to go. That's all for this video, and I'll see you guys later in a bit.